Disclaimer: this is an imaginary story. Please don't relate it with any idol or any other person. It's nothing related to anyone's life. It's pure work of fiction. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events is purely coincidental. It's a Notice 7 story. If you are soloist and can't see other members, then this story isn't for you. You are on wrong channel. Watch the story carefully, then comment. Be respectful and don't embarrass yourself. Whatever pics are shown in this story, they all have been taken from Google and Pinterest. The credit for them goes to their real owner. Storyline and voice are mine, so please don't copy that. It was a cold evening at the boarding school. The chilling wind brushed past the corridor, but inside the campus, warmth and excitement filled the air. All the students were glowing with happiness because today was the day they had been waiting for, the day when letters and gifts from their families finally arrived. Laughter echoed in the surroundings. Some held parcels close to their heart, some read letters with teary smiles. Some couldn't stop talking about what their parents had sent, but not everyone was smiling. A boy in his school uniform stood quietly near the railing. From above, he watching everything, the happiness, the excitement, the love, all the happiness felt distance. A student looked up at him and shouted, Student, hey, T, what are you doing there? Come fast. Gifts and letters have arrived. T in mind. Gifts, letters, family. Not everyone is lucky enough to get them. Student, Oe, are you thief? Where are you lost? I have talking to you, not the wall. Come down fast. T tiredly. I'm coming. He slowly stepped down as he didn't want to go. Student intertwined his fingers and dragged him to the room where Warden was distributing the letters and gifts. The whole hall was filled with laughter, excitement, and chaos. Some were hugging their gifts, some were reading letters with teary smiles, so some were happily showing their gifts to their friends. He stood at the corner silently and watching everything. His eyes moved from one happy face to another. A student went inside and within a few minutes happily returned while holding a letter and a parcel. He pushed T inside the room because T was hesitating to go inside. He looked at the warden and said in a slow voice, T, slowly, Ma'am, is there anything for me? Warden, oh, Kim Taeyang, roll number 30. Wait a minute, let me check in the list. Maybe there is something for you. She went inside to check the list because the list she was holding there, T's name wasn't written. A small hope rose up in his heart, hearing Warden's words. T in mind and crossing his finger. Please God, this time send something for me. Even a small letter with few lines is enough for me. I promise I won't ask anything else. Just a letter, please. Looking at the room with hopeful eyes, Warden returned. Taeyang, T, eyes lighten up with the hope. Yes, ma'am. Is there something for me? Warden slowly shook her head. Sorry, Taeyang. I checked every list and parcel. This time also nothing comes from your home for you. T forced sad smile. Why are you saying sorry, ma'am? It wasn't your fault. I knew it. Like always, this time also nothing would come for me. I was guessing that maybe this time something will come, but it's totally alright. I'm not sad. Thank you for your effort. T bowed and left as fast as he could go. The warden looked at him with sad eyes. She knew how T might be feeling now, but she didn't have anything which could lessen his pain. The whole campus was echoing with laughter. Everyone was busy reading the letter and showing off the gifts they had received from their families. The entire campus was buzzing with excitement and happiness. But in the middle of all that joy, T was the only one who was sad. Everyone's happiness was tearing him apart. He was the only one who wasn't smiling. Everyone impatiently waiting for this day, but he wished that this day would never come. Although it wasn't new for him, he had been carrying this pain for the past 6 years, since he was only 10 years old when he came to this boarding school after his parents' demise in an accident. He was sitting alone on the stone near the racetrack, holding his mark sheet and test papers tightly in his hands. He was wearing a thin t shirt. The cold breeze kept brushing against his skin. The weather was freezing, but the fire burning inside him didn't let him feel anything. His eyes slowly lifted towards the sky. He looked at the moon, imagining it as his mom, and said, T, Mama, why did you have to leave me? Like always, today also everyone else gets letter, gifts, smiles from people who love them, but me, I get nothing, not a word, not a hug, not even a thought. Mama, are you watching me? Are you somewhere up there looking down at me? I I miss you so much. Every day, every single day, I wish I could see your smile, hear your voice, feel your arms around me. But you aren't here, and no one is except this moon. Mama, why did this happen to me? Why? Why am I so alone? Why I never did wrong to anyone? Then why did God punish me? Why did God snatch you and Dad from me? Am I that bad, Mama? Everyone else, they have someone who cares, someone who waits for them, someone to laugh with, to share even the smallest happiness. But me, I have nothing. Everything is laughing, opening the gifts from parents. They have warm homes, and I sit here with nothing but cold wind and the moon. Cleansing the papers with trembling fists, I study so hard every single day for you, for Hang, for the family I barely have. Today, today I got my mark sheet. Mama, I did so well. I worked so hard. I wanted, I wanted so badly to show you, to let you know that I am becoming a good boy, a strong boy, someone you could be proud of. But there was no one to show it to, no one to smile with me, no one to say, well done, T. T. Showed the mark sheet to Moon. Look, Mama, I did it. I studied. hard. I didn't give up. I'm going to become someone important, someone you would never have to worry about. I will be strong. I will be successful. I will make you proud. But no one answered. No one clapped. No one smiled. Only the cold moon started back at me. Only the wind laughed as it bit my skin. Only my heart broke a little smile. Why? Why is it like this? Why does everyone else have someone and I have no one? Mama, you told me that I have a Hyang, Yoongi Hyang. After you and Dada, I should only trust him. If you two weren't there, he would protect me, love me in his own way. I tried, Mama. I tried so hard to understand him. I tried so hard to trust him, but I don't think he loves me. Hyang hates me, Mama. Hyang's never talked to me. I only saw him first and last time in the hospital when he came to bring me. I thought he would take me to his home, but he dropped me off at this boarding school. It's been 6 years since I have been waiting here. He never came here to meet me. He never sent any letter or gift like everyone's parents did. He never ever called me. Every year I keep waiting for his one message, just a single note, but he never sent anything to me. Tears rolling down through his cheeks. I think he forgot that he has a younger brother who waited for him. Am I that bad? Mama, did Hyang forget me? Why did he leave me here alone? I swear, Mama, I didn't say a single wrong word to him, but he is still punishing me. I don't even know what is my mistake. Every night I go to sleep praying that I may receive a message from him tomorrow. He may come to visit me, but he never showed any sign of him. I just want someone to care about me, that someone will notice that I worked so hard, that I'm not just a lonely boy. I wanted to share my happiness with my family just for a moment, just one person to smile with me, to say, I'm proud of you, Titi. But there is no one, Mama. I'm so tired of being alone. I'm so tired of feeling invisible, of feeling forgotten. You said Jungihyang is my family, but it seems like I have also lost the only person whom I can call my family. Why, Mama? Why? I can't contact him, but you are a free soul. You can go to Hyang and tell his younger brother is waiting for him. It's okay if he can't come to meet me, but at least show me some sign that I'm not alone. He is with me. He didn't forget me. I promise that I will do whatever he tells me to do. I will be a good younger brother. I'm ready to wait, but at least he can give me some hope. Ma, are you listening to me? He was tired of fine, pretending to be strong. He wasn't jealous of others' happiness. He was just sad to not receive the happiness of his share. He never complained, but today his pain was too much. He couldn't bear it and burst in front of Moon. Soon he heard some voice and quickly wiped his tears and turned around to find two boys were running to him holding the letters and gifts. They were none other than his friends Park Jimin and Joan Jungkook. Jimin, T, there you are. We have been looking everywhere for you. Cook, annoyed but concerned. Do you have any idea how cold it is? Are you trying to freeze yourself to death or what? T, forcing a smile. I was feeling hot inside, so I came here. I'm fine. Jimin unwrapped a bright red blanket and draped it over T's shoulders. You aren't fine and you don't have to pretend with us. We are your friends. We know that you are sad because you again didn't get any letter or message from your Hang. T. No, I'm fine. I'm not sad. I know Hang is very busy. He doesn't get time to send anything for me. I'm really fine with it. Try to divert their mind. By the way, this blanket is so soft and warm. Your family sent this for you? Jimin sat beside him. Hmm. And you know, my dad made a small tiger embroidery over here. Showed him a small tiger embroidery. And Mama wrote a letter for you. Showed him a letter. T, shining his sparkling eyes. Really? Oma wrote a letter for me? Jimin, But if you don't want, then. T, no, I want it. Quickly snatched the letter from his hand and started reading. How are you, my tiger? I hope you are doing well and worked hard to make us proud. Oma and Appa are so proud of you. We are sending you a red blanket. Yellow one is for Chim and red one is for you. Your Appa tried to embroider a fierce tiger but ended up with a cute baby tiger eating a strawberry. We haven't seen you, but as much as Chim told us about you, we can imagine you would exactly look like this tiger. We will come soon to meet you. Lots of love from your Oma and Appa. Don't be sad. We are here for you. Sarangi. Tears rolled down through his cheeks while reading this. He touched his baby deer tiger and felt the warmth which Jimin's parents sent for him. Soon, his tears were wiped off by Jimin and Cook showed a cookie in his mouth. Tea while eating. It has strawberries. It's so tasty. Cook. Of course it would be tasty. After all, my mama baked it. Gave him a big strawberry jar. This is for you. Mama sent chocolate cookies for me and strawberry cookies for you. T, looking at him. Really? Oma sent it to me? Cook. But if you keep crying like this, I will eat both. T quickly wiped his tears. No, I'm not crying. Jimin hugged him from behind. Look, now you also have a letter and gifts. Don't be sad. Cook joined in hug. You received two gifts, whereas we got only one. If you cry again, I will tell Mama to not send anything for you. T. No, I won't cry. Jimin, that's good. Now let's go to the mess, otherwise we have to stay hungry. Cook, yeah, let's go. I'm already feeling weak. They all went from there totally unaware. The warden and the principal were watching them and feeling T's pain. Principal June. Did nothing come for Tiang from his home this time too? Not a single call? Warden slowly shook her head. No, sir. I even tried to contact Mr. Min, but first he didn't pick the calls, and when he picked, he told to not disturb him and cut the call without listening to me. June. This is the sixth consecutive year when nothing has come for him from his home. Send me his guardian's number. I will talk with him. Warden. Sure, sir. Time skipped after a few days. A few days had passed. All the students had sent their written letter and handmade gift to their parents. T had also sent his letter and a handmade bracelet, hoping that this time Jungi might respond. But days passed, and while every other student received calls or message from their parents, Jungi remained silent. T couldn't understand why. Why is Jungi ignoring him? Why did he seem to harbor so much anger? T tried a lot to talk with him, but his unanswered questions only grew heavier and his body began to betray him. He fell ill, the sickness, feeling of the anxiety. Many times someone had informed Jungi of T's worsening condition, but still he didn't come to see him. T's health was deteriorating rapidly, physically and emotionally, and all he could think about was Jungi. Every walking moment his thought returned to him, and yet Jungi, he remained unreachable. June, worried. Dr. Hobie, how's his condition now? Hobie, still no improvement. He kept mumbling his Hyang's name. None of medicine is working on him. If it continues, then. June, no, he will be fine. He just need his Hyang. Call him and tell him to come here right now. Hobie, called Jungi. After multiple times, he received the call. Jungi, why are you calling me again and again? I'm so busy. Hobie, Mr. Min, I called you to inform about your younger brother's health. His health kept deteriorating. Please come. Jungi, coldly, he is just sick, not dead. That I would have to meet him or bring him home. I already sent you money for his treatment. If you want more, I'm ready to pay more. But don't disturb me. Cut the call. Hobie, hello, Mr. Min, listen. June, what happened? Hobie, he said T is only sick, not dead. If we want more money, then he will send more, but don't disturb him. June, shocked. What? He said this? Angali left. June directly came to Jungi's office. He was looking so furious. He saw Jungi was about to eat food. He angrily snatched the dish from his hand and threw it on the floor. June, there your younger brother is remembering you laying on hospital bed, and here you are shamelessly eating food. I didn't know my friend can be this heartless. Grabbed Yungi's hand and started dragging him. You are coming with me. Tiang needs you. Yungi yanked his hand. I already sent the money for his treatment. June, angrily looking at him. Do you think money can solve everything? He needs his Hyang. He needs you, your love and care, not your money. Jungi, I'm not his Hyang. June, yes, you are. He is your brother. He isn't a child anymore. You should tell him the truth now. It's been 6 years since he has been waiting for you. At least meet him once. Jungi, in what language should I tell your dad I don't want to meet him. I'm bearing his expenses. That's enough. If you dare to come here again without my permission, I will tell my guards to shoot you. Angrily left. June. Min Jungi, where are you going? You coward man, you can't go like this. I won't go anywhere without you. I came here to bring you to Taeyang. Jin, Jungi's personal doctor. June held his hand. Stop behaving like a child. Jungi doesn't need to meet T. I'm coming with you. Let's go. June yanked his hand. I want Jungi, not you. Jin, stop shouting. Started dragging him. You shouldn't have come here. Now leave before anyone can see you. Left. Jin came with June to the hospital where T was admitted. He studied T's report and checked him. His condition was very bad, and the worst thing was, in his unconscious state, he kept bubbling Jungi's name. T. Hyang, Jungi Hyang, Jungi Hyang. Jimin. Why hasn't his Hyang come? Cook. Maybe the school authority was unable to contact him. Jimin. I have an idea. What if we call his Hyang then? Cook. Good idea. Let's go to principal's cabin. There must be any alternative number. Jimin. Looking at T. T, you shouldn't be worried. We will soon bring your Hyang to you. With that, they both didn't think much and secretly went to June's cabin. They searched in the student details file and found a landline number. Without thinking about its consequence, they dialed the number from principal's phone. Jimin. Hello, Jungi Hyang. T's condition isn't good. He kept remembering you. Please come to XYZ hospital fast. We have admitted him here, room number 7, second floor. We are waiting for you. Jungi looked at the men in horror who picked the call. Dad, you. Cut off by hard slap, and he fell on the floor. What do you think? Why hasn't Jungi come to see T? Will he reach the hospital in time before it's too late? Have Jimin and Cook really helped T, or have they unknowingly invited a new storm into his life? To be continued. Author's note. That's it for today. I hope you all liked it. It was the requested story for one shot. I hope I didn't disappoint you. This story had so many emotional ups and downs. This part was all about friendship and T's side of the story. The next part is going to be even more exciting. I hope you could feel T's pain and the depth of Women Cook's friendship. That's what real friendship looks like. No filter, no jealousy, no condition, just pure love and support for each other. The kind that can cross any limits just to make their friend happy. Do you have friends like Jimin and Cook? Are you blessed with this kind of friendship or unlucky in it? I hope you all enjoyed it. We will meet soon with next part. Till then, take care of yourself. Love you all. If you like this story, then please do like, subscribe, share and comment. I assure you that you will never gonna regret on your decision. Thanks for watching.